And again, I would like to see Corinthos move his units forward just a little bit manually, then attack. Because you attack faster, and these Marines are just gonna get eaten alive. You know, I don't understand Corinthos' line of thought here. And again, in the production tab, just more Marines coming. He is getting vehicle weapons for those siege tanks, but I mean, Corinthos is gonna get out macroed. You know. Look at all these medvacs. You know, just some marauders. You know, anything. And the fungal growth, you know, this great composition for dealing with this. And Corinthos just not adapting, and this loses people games all the time. But we'll see. We got a lot of Zerglings coming down for reinforcement here. Those medevacs, you know, JaySu, if he wants to win this, he's got to handle those medevacs. The medevacs are what's going to win this game for Corinthos, since it's pretty clear Corinthos has no intention on changing strategy. He is just headlong doing what he's doing. JaySu needs to get down some anti-air. These Ultralists are nice, but he needs to take down those medevacs, because they're just prolonging the life of these Marines far more than they should be. Hopefully we see a fungal growth. No fungal growth, unfortunately. So there's still no anti-air for JaySu, and Corinthos just, you know, sticking to what he does best. At least in this game. I haven't seen any of his other games, so I can't really comment on that. But in this game, just lots and lots and lots of Marines. You know, with the +3 weapon and armor and this many medevacs, you know, it's finally becoming intimidating. There's a lot of Ultralists, but he should really get something to handle those medevacs. Because as soon as he wipes out those medevacs, those Marines, I mean, they're already kind of garbage by themselves. I mean, they're good units, yeah, but the fact that it's just the same thing over and over and over again, very predictable. And these medevacs are what is extending their lifespan so much. Without the medevacs, you know, those Marines are toast. But I mean, Ultras do really well against Marines, you know, especially in the open like this. So JaySu needs to take down these medevacs. That should be his priority right now. We're not even seeing like a Hydralist Den or anything like that. It just something to deter those medevacs. I mean, even Mass Queens, you know, it's silly, but it would work. So he's just sticking with those Ultralists, and unfortunately, you know, Corinthos is not adapting to it. And Corinthos has the economy advantage here. I guess. I mean, he's got a pretty well fortified position here. He's getting ready to secure another expansion. So JaySu has expanded all over the map. And look at him just moving in. He needs to be careful here though, because he's going to get chewed apart by these siege tanks, and he hasn't done anything to handle these medevacs. And this is just a very bad move by JaySu. You do not attack a fortified position like that and just throw away your units at this stage in the game. That push could very well cost him the game, along with the fact that he has no air, no anti-air to take out these medevacs. You can't let medevacs get like this, because their healing rate is so obnoxious. You know, they heal through everything, and the Marines live so much longer than they should. Yeah, I think that could very well be JaySu's undoing. He had a very good composition in the beginning, and he still has a pretty good composition, but he's not taking medevacs into account. He's ignoring that they're even there. which is allowing these Marines to get away with murder. And here comes the transfer, and we've got some siege tanks moving out. Um, I'd like to see JaySu put down some anti-air, whether it be Mutalisks or Corruptors or Hydralisks or a ton of Queens. I don't care. Or even just letting these Infestors save up energy. But that's not nearly as effective. And here we go. You're gonna see the power of these medevacs here. Um, Healing through the fungal growth, healing through the ultralisk damage, just healing through everything. These banelings are going to die before they really even do anything. And that could very well be game for JaySu, because he didn't take these medevacs into account. He just ignored their existence, and just kept doing what he was doing. Also, the lack of upgrades is huge. So a little unfortunate, in my opinion, that Corinthos could really get away with so much damage on such a linear strategy. But it was well executed. He kept up with his upgrades, and his opponent didn't adapt. He adapted in the beginning, which was very good, with the banelings and the infestors, and then moving into these ultras. All good ideas. But without anti-air, these medevacs are game changing. They are the reason that Corinthos is winning. Uh, Without those medevacs, he wouldn't really be doing anything. He'd be contained back in his base if he wanted to keep him, but instead now he's allowed to move forward. And I really think that is going to cost JaySu the game here, as they're also providing a lot of mobility to Corinthos's army, allowing him to drop wherever he pleases, and just lack of anti-air is huge. You don't even see any spore crawlers anywhere. So I mean, they've both been on their macro really well. I mean, you can obviously tell Corinthos hasn't been making anything other than Marines with his ridiculous amount of gas up there. So yeah, hopefully this match showed you, very important to get your upgrades. You don't want to let somebody pull so far ahead of you with upgrades, because that will make a huge difference. Also, when you're countering an opponent, don't stop countering. Because if he had just taken these medevacs into account, dropped a Spire, dropped a Hydralisk, and did something to take care of these medevacs, Corinthos would have lost. Or he would have been contained for much longer. And unfortunately, he wasn't. He was allowed to move out with this extremely linear strategy and win with it. Because JaySu kind of froze up halfway through the match, and he got comfortable in his composition. He felt like his composition was winning, which it was. And I mean, honestly, he probably got a little arrogant, because all he's seeing is Marines. And I mean, Marines are excellent units, but by themselves, I mean, it's such a transparent strategy. And I mean, literally, I think he made like one Marauder through the whole game, just Marines and siege tanks. And just like when JaySu engaged down here, very bad strategic decision to engage a fortified position with siege tanks, with really expensive units that require a nice open field in order to do the damage that they're designed to do. That wasn't entirely game changing, but it definitely influenced it a lot, because he could have used those units to take out a push when it came out, since he didn't have any anti-air to take out the medevacs. So I mean, this match just goes to show you, you can win with an extremely linear and simple strategy, so long as it's executed properly. You don't play stupid. Engage where you need to, favorable terrain, and you can win. But it's a little bit of a gamble, because if JaySu had just continued to counter, continued to tech, I really don't see Corinthos being able to break through it, without adapting himself. And clearly, from this match, adapting was just something he was not gonna do. But anyways, I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoy.